that.
But it will all be transparent, diba? I mean, it will be reflected in the reviews, and it will all be there. So
Yes, sir. I think that should be transparent for everyone.
okay, all right. Any more responses to that on what might be the implications of because not all of the services, although it's now going to be more transparent, it's now going to be ordered because it's ordered easily like a Lazada type. There will be a deluge of orders, and there will be an absorptive capability, a capacity of the organization. So normally that would bring rise to certain issues, no? And then if it's going to be fully transparent, those issues will also be made transparent in that platform. And then how is that going to be, no, if it's going to be fully transparent, how is that going to be managed? No? So that's one thing. So
yes, sir. I think it's
don't disapprove. And now it's going to be transparent to everybody that you're disapproving this, and the people are complaining. Baka naman the vision again of showing commitment, this might also run against that indication of commitment when now everybody sees that not everybody's requests are being approved. So
yes,
it
sir.
might exacerbate the commitment objective or vision that this solution might have. So yun lang.
Yes, sir. I think, sir, that's a fair point, sir. But we'll think of ways. I think we should look for more areas for improvement there. But we acknowledge, sir, that that's really one thing that we should consider when launching this app.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you just change your vision kasi commitment. It's anchored on the commitment. Mahirap yun. I mean, it's a very interesting.
Yes,
I like the commitment part, but would this solution really be about commitment? It's really just the link between the vision, the mission, vision, the solution, and the problem. That's just the point I'm making. So, thank you. Good job. Good presentation.
Thank you so much, Sir JJ. And I appreciate it that our presenters has their camera open, so we see you. It's nice to see your faces. Do we have any other questions from our judges?
May I have one question?
Go ahead, Kata-san.
Okay, thank you very much. And first of all, thank you very much for your very exciting presentation. And then the viewpoint of your presentation quite interesting. And then I want to ask you about the feasibility of the business aspect. Your project try to cover all aspects and employees' requirement for HR. And then, as you mentioned, our company also has an integrated HR portal. But frankly speaking, it's not small and then not the right system. It's quite heavy. And then I think so it's good idea to focus on easy access by mobile devices and also utilization of the AI technologies for the more accurate and acceptable service from the employee. I think that's a good idea. But solution design of AI, actually, so our company also introducing robot process, RPA, but if customer's requirement is quite complicated, RPA solution design also required huge resources and cost. Then my question for the feasibility is those development of the solution design. I think so if you target all the HR aspect and all the employee requirement, it might require, again, so huge development resources and the cost if target all the HR services. And then to make it your business plan more realistic and feasible, do you have any realistic implementation plan or priority areas? If you have those priority, please explain to us. That's my question.
Sir, you're asking if there are priority areas that we would like to cover?
Or even so, you still target all the aspects. What is your plan?
Let me take that question, Richard.
All right.
Good
Go
morning,
ahead.
Mr. Kato. Actually, our business model, as mentioned earlier, we will have a one-time license purchase, and that license purchase includes the basic features only. What we mean by the basic features would be the full HR request only. So we will cater to that. And then for the other integration that we have shown, like for example, in the marketing or the finance feature or the ICT, that would be under the other additional fee for the customization. So that we can maintain the basic features only, because we understand also that it is truly a large scope if we will scope the whole organization. But we also want to cater to those other industries who have larger needs for this easy access for their services. So that's it.
Yeah, but even specified only HR basic service. So your presentation describe payroll, LOA, SSS, and then money, training, talent acquisition, clearance. All the HR. Yeah, this is a daily management in company, but each process is different, and also depth of the solution design must be different. It means,
Yes,
so
sir.
do you have a confidence to prepare all the solution design by AI? Is that possible? Do you think so?
Yes, sir. I am confident that we can actually do it even if we scope the whole HR, because currently in our company, we already have in place several robotics process automation as well. So this app would be the integration of all those robotics process automation. So we were confident that we can cover the whole HR processes, even if they are diversified or different in nature. So yeah, I
Okay.
hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Um, okay, thank you, sir. I would like to add lang din, sir, dun sa solutions. Like, for our app, even though we have many services that we can cater to, all of those services basically have basic elements. So there's the requester, there are approvers, and then there are processors. So I think since it's basically also a performance management system, an HR ticketing system, performance review, and rewards. Those elements are present in all those services. So I think, sir, we can address to all of those services.
Okay, thank you so much, Richard. We have questions from Sir Jude and Sir Alan. Go ahead. Jude, would you like to start?
I'll go first. Thank you. Yes. Can you differentiate again your idea with other HR management systems? Because from what I know, they can already give real-time notification. It's just that the approver might take some time because the person is carefully checking.
Actually, one of the challenges that we have encountered during the preparation for this speech is we can't find some same app that we can benchmark with that offers this holistic approach to all the services that we have. So, I understand that there are HRIS in place that are available in the web. They can access that, but this type, the marketplace feel to the app that Buzzy is offering. So that's something that unique to us.
All right. So I have a follow-up question based on your response. So why is there a need to use a mobile app? I mean, isn't the web app enough? Well, I do. I mean, if I work on my laptop or my company laptop, and I do all my work there, and of course I'll be opening the website and look at the HR management tool there. So why is there a need for me to use my own mobile application?
Actually, what we're offering here is basically the flexibility to address different preferences of our clients. So some would prefer to access through website, and that's possible kasi we will offer this via, as mentioned before, via web, iOS, and Android if ever this comes to the market. So yon, to address the preferences, because we cannot, we just want to parang cater to the different needs of our clients as well.
Okay.
And also to add to that, Miss Ashley's answer is based on from our experience, cellular phones or phone apps have a wider range in reach in the population in Philippines. So based from experience, because I'm from the recruitment team of PJ Luwilier, so since we transition from paper and pencil testing into online assessment, so we've tried to cater all of our applicants. So and all those also those who are technologically challenged ones. So yun, and whenever I encounter troubleshooting with their access, they always prefer using mobile cell phones in doing the assessment. So whether assessment or different tasks, and also as mentioned in the presentation, the rise of trend in using mobile transactions is in trending in this generation. So yeah, thank you.
So basically what I got from you was your main addition is to create a mobile application. So you could cater to the different preferences of your users. Now, how does it tie back to the issue about commitment? Said you wanted to use a mobile app, and all the other HR management systems have these features. So you're just making it available in the mobile platform. So how does that connect to the commitment?
Okay, as mentioned also earlier, we have made the processing transparent to really perform to their commitment, so that because it will reflect in their performance as well.
Okay.
To add na lang din to Ashley's answer, we've mentioned a while ago that one of the difficulties that most companies are having is that they are having a hard time replying to emails and inquiries. So with this application, you processors or HR employees no longer have the burden of replying to each and every inquiries that they receive email. The app automatically updates everyone regardless of how many people are requesting, and that for us is something that we want to deliver, because when employees feel that when employees don't receive an update about their request, they feel that they are being ignored. They feel that the company is not really taking care of them. So we want to change that kind of perspective by having this application.
Okay, that makes sense. Right.
Okay, thank you so much. Sir Alan, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you to the presenters. Certainly, your app has a potential, not necessarily in its present form, but in order for it to evolve, you have to put it in as many hands as possible, okay? At the soonest possible time. So I'm looking at the perspective from ease of adoption, okay? As Mr. Kato said, there are already in place HRIS systems and everything else. Legacy systems, companies have invested. How easy it is to integrate? I, for one, don't want to. We evaluate a lot of softwares, okay, in a given time. The one that requires the least amount of effort gets to the priority, okay, after going through the metrics of cost and everything else. Features can always be evolved down the line. It's how you make it easy for the company to transition. Customization is not a viable solution if you're peddling a solution that's less than ₱1 million a box, okay? No one wants to customize something that they want to finish in 1 week. Fail fast, then you will get the feedback. So I'm a buyer, I'm ready to spend. Do I have to redo everything from the data perspective? It's not clear in the presentation how you can get this thing running up and running in a week's time.
Okay, can I take that answer, team? Sige, I'll go ahead. Actually, sir, we can leverage on the IT company that we have under PJ Luwilier Group. So I think we're capable of doing the integration because here in PJ Luwilier, we already have several systems, and because we understand that each team has different needs. So instead of actually, we started with the in-house development of systems. So several that is already how many systems, and then we integrated that to other systems, and then we also see the need for cloud because it's already transitioning to cloud. So we ordered also external providers from external providers, and we also integrated that with the internal systems. So I think if the problem is about integration, we can actually do that because of the several experiences that we've already had. And aside from that, we also use scope kasi po when we're scoping the market, we don't only focus on the big organizations, but we are also looking into the SMEs. So as part of our social responsibility or corporate responsibility to also cater to their company's needs, that even the small companies or the SMEs also have their HR and also have their employees, and their employees are equally as important in the bigger organization. So we would also want to cater to that. And I think with this SMEs integration is not so much of a concern, sir. Hope that answers your question.
Well, basically, I want a no-touch solution, right? I don't want to interface with you. I want to subscribe. Can I do it in 1 week? I'm ready to spend. What's your answer? Can I do it myself? People, that's why you're putting this on the mobile phone. That's a no-touch strategy, and I think that's a sound strategy.
Sir, addressing that issue, sir, then siguro, sir, we also need to consider the size of the company you're going to integrate in our app. So yun po, depending on the volume of the users and the transactions you offer within the company. So yun po. Siguro may we can negotiate on that on our behalf. So yun po, we can commit to a certain timeline on when we will be ready to launch the app to your company.
I wanted it to be more Lazada-like. Just order it, like you said.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So we'll
Thank
just make sure, sir, the basics are there for it to be running. So customizations will come after if ever bigger companies would like to put something there that currently we don't have. So
our innovators and judges. So let us now get to the final presenter. May I call on the Micro HRM team, Mr. Joseph Benjamin Angeles and Mr. Leon Flores to make their final pitch.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Can I just test first if you can hear me?
Yes, voice is loud and clear.
Thank you. And you can see me also as well.
Confirming, yes.
All right. Thank you, Sir Lawrence. So, hi. So, to start, I am Joseph Benjamin Angeles. So you can call me JB. And I'm part of a team that aims to transform HR practices in Philippine micro enterprises. Allow me to share how HR practices in micro enterprises can be reimagined and redesigned to be made more accessible and user-friendly for all. So let me walk you through what we saw. We have identified 4 possible problems, and we also have a solution to address these. First problem that we saw is that all aspects of business operations are handled by micro entrepreneurs, as micro enterprises have less than 10 employees. Second, especially because of the pandemic, the priority is to keep the business afloat. So these micro entrepreneurs will prioritize the day-to-day operations of sales, marketing, and finance. HR concerns are barely touched, but they deal with it when things have gotten out of hand. Third, not all micro entrepreneurs have a background in HR. And lastly, if they were to look for ways to improve HR for their micro enterprise, a lot of examples that you'd see in the internet and academic literature are geared towards bigger organizations. With those problems, we propose a new way of working through micro HRM, a one-stop shop application that guides micro entrepreneurs on managing the people side of their business. This will guide micro entrepreneurs in doing effective HR practice for their business. This will also curate HR practices specifically for the context of micro entrepreneurs. So do you want to know how this looks like? Uh, All right. So imagine you are a micro entrepreneur. So when you log in the app, it asks you, what do you want to do? So let's say you'll choose, I want to hire an employee. So this will lead to a series of pages that asks about the vacant position. So let's say you're looking for a kitchen crew. It will then ask you to summarize the vacant position in 2 to 3 sentences. And you can also list the essential skills that the applicant should have. So here we listed food production and customer service. From those questions and some additional ones, it will auto-generate and make you a job description, complete with all the relevant details an applicant needs to know. And you can also generate a Word file of this if you would want to post this online or offline. So now, let's say you've shared this JD already across your different networks. What's next? The app will now equip you to handle the next stage, interviewing applicants. The app will feed you helpful videos on how to properly conduct a job interview. And if you're the type who likes to read more, you will also have access to helpful articles and a lot more. So now you've applied what you learned and interviewed your first applicant. So congrats to you. But what happens now? After each applicant you interview, you will be rating him or her on the critical skills of the job which you initially identified based on their interview responses. So now you've interviewed many applicants and each of them have their own strengths and weaknesses. So how do you decide who to choose? The app can show you how each of them are rated for all of the critical skills. Based on the analyzed data, the app can suggest logical next steps, such as notifying the highest rated applicant that he has been chosen for the job. And once you click the yes button, it will craft its own message which you could send to the chosen applicant, complete with congratulatory praises and next steps for the applicant. What I showed you was only a few steps of the recruitment and selection stage. Other HR functions that micro HRM will address are these. The last phase is subject to further market insighting. So essentially, the app provides easy-to-use HR tools such as bite-sized learning materials, guides, and checklists. It will also generate documents and nudge you on your phone when it's time to do a certain HR task. Having this in place will allow the micro entrepreneur to focus more on the business while still being sure that their employees are well taken care of. We believe that Filipino micro enterprises should have access to these HR services wherever they may be in the country. So, we will be making micro HRM available in major local languages. The app will also use forms that are compliant with our very own Philippine labor law. We share these with micro entrepreneurs, and they have nothing but good words and praises to say about it. These are a few things they said. They easily saw the benefit of micro HRM to the development of both their business and their employees. There are 4 million MSMEs in the country, maybe even more. According to DTI, there could be more, as some are not fully registered or are only registered at the local government level. Our realistic go-to-market strategy is to reach 0.5% of this figure, or 20,000, of the total serviceable market in the next 5 years. We also scoped our competitors and we saw 3 competitive advantages. First, while we are certain that there are HR providers that serve micro enterprises, based on competitor profiling and their customer profiles, we deduce that they mostly serve bigger enterprises. Second, they cater mostly to established businesses and thus use English in their platforms. But micro HRM will also be offered in local languages. And last, other providers are used only to automate and monitor HR processes. But our main goal is to guide business owners to do effective HR processes. With easy-to-use and simplified HR for micro entrepreneurs, we offer an array of services that can help the busy entrepreneur retrieve their time back. HRM can be no frills, but the entrepreneur will still be able to focus on the important touch points of every employee. We simplified our revenue stream to regular subscription fees and add-on services and features, with a starting annual subscription fee of only 1,299 pesos. Other services can be availed of at additional costs in succeeding phases. We are looking into an HR concierge of sorts for consultations and supplemental training. We've tried to crunch the numbers, and our realistic projection is that we will incur profits by the 3rd year of operation. We hope to kickstart the first year with 90 subscribed users, which grows eventually year on year. We hope to develop a lean team that will help in marketing and content production. App design and programming will also eat up a huge portion of the capital investment. As for the team, that is me on the left, and my partner, former Undersecretary Leon Flores III, on the right. My experience in human resources, organization development, and personally being a micro-entrepreneur, coupled with Leon's expertise in management, business operations, marketing, and MSME development, provides a perfect mix of skills to make this a reality. We believe it's a perfect time to roll this out. There are so many micro-entrepreneurs that adopted technology since the pandemic started. In fact, there were 88,000 new online businesses in the Philippines for 2020 alone. And there may be even more, as these are just the DTI-registered online businesses. So, why not use technology too to take care of their people? Micro HRM empowers micro-entrepreneurs to hone and grow their employees easily and effectively, while still making sure that they can still focus on business operations. With micro HRM, there is a brighter and better future for the 2.6 million employees of Filipino micro enterprises, because we believe that people development is as important as business development. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, JB, from Micro HR team. All right, let's hear from our judges. Do you have any questions to our third group? Sir Bong, you have...
Okay, thank you. Okay, the app is basically a curated digital resource kit on HR for micro entrepreneurs. And I think that's a novel idea. By curated, my assumption is that the resources that will be made available are targeted precisely at a certain market, and that they respond to specific identified needs of the market. Okay. Now, just 2 points. One is it promotes passive learning at this point. How do we make sure that people learn from it actually and not use the app blindly? The second one is how do we promote ethical practices? Because these are micro entrepreneurs, and the possibility that because they're not aware of the larger issues around HR, like like when you advertise for a candidate, you don't need to write down age and gender and things like that. No, how do you make sure that we actually also promote ethical HR practices to the app?
All right. Thank you for that question, Sir Bong. I think I will take on the second question on ethical practices, and I think my partner can answer the first question on promoting passive learning as a function of the app. So actually, this is my question initially when I started thinking about this program or this app rather. But when we validated this app with micro entrepreneurs, mm, I think I also started to question that they were not aware of larger issues. Uh, let's give me I'll give you an example to answer this more clearly. So me as an HR practitioner, then uh, I had these elements in mind that an organization should have a vision, a mission, a values that are well defined. And as we validated the product with the market, these terms were actually foreign concepts to these micro enterprises. But I was shocked to see that the principles behind those visions and values were exemplified well by these micro enterprises because like the vision what they want to achieve was very clear with them. The mission or how they want to achieve it, they could do it with their eyes closed, they could explain it very well. And the values, although there was none defined, but when we probe them on critical issues, how they handle critical issues, you see how their values come into play when they operate and lead the business. So in a way, that's I think yun na rin yung tawid to the next question that in a way we are trying to curate and make a no frills product because what we see is the principles behind the HR literature are very well accepted and practiced in these micro enterprises. But yun nga, there needs to be some tweaking of sorts for these. All right, Leon.
With regard to facilitating the learn, hi, I'm Leon Flores. Thank you for the question. With regard to facilitating the learning, we've also imagined how exactly at a certain touch point with the app where we can provide certain, we were thinking of either a robot or an avatar that can pop up and actually guide them. So the templates that we provide, some helpful tips, and then additional, as JB mentioned here, some additional learning or tools, or even some TED Talks, or even some open source materials that we can provide, or links, so that they can deepen their understanding on certain issues. So it can help facilitate the learning process, so that they can become more attuned to HR practices, whether it's both at the ethical front or at the even at the legal front. We try to make sure that we can provide these snippets or little tools that can help them in their journey as well.
So there will be checkpoints.
Yes, there will be checkpoints because
legal,
it's very important.
ethical, all of these concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, PP Bong. And I think Sir JJ is ready with his question.
Yes, thank you very much. Excellent presentation. Congratulations. A couple of questions. First is, you said it's curated, and I would suppose that you will be the one doing the curation. Is that correct? And what source of materials will you be using? And would you have, since you will be making this public and making a business out of this, will there be some intellectual property, I assume that you will be doing as well, and then you do the curation. And is this curation also vetted with the micro entrepreneurs themselves? So basically, just looking at the contents, because at the end of the day, this is, I understand, a toolkit for HR, for MSMEs. And then, the function of the toolkit is that, toolkits are basically there to be provided to the users, and presumably this has been tested and this has been vetted. And I assume that my question therefore is, who is vetting this and who's testing this? Is it just between the two of you, or you have industry association, or you have focus group discussion? Can you tell us more about how the content is developed?
If I may, so thank you for this question. We agree that when providing templates and toolkits and guides, content is very important. So on our first, that's why on the first 2 to 3 years, a lot of our materials will really be on content production, especially since we also want to make sure that it's language tuned or adjusted, especially for at least 2 to 3 major languages, so that we can cater to many in our MSMEs or micro enterprises, even in Visayas and Mindanao as well, or even up north. So in terms of who actually vets, but from an association perspective, but at the minimum, I'm looking at it from a market perspective, where we try to see that the user actually gets to really understand and appreciates and fully applies the toolkits and the tools that we provide them.
Right, thank you. The second question is, entrepreneurs, work with a few of them, they also want to learn from others. This platform provide that opportunity to build communities amongst and between each other, so that they can also learn from each other, make it more interactive, as opposed to a learning from a set of toolkits and a passive set of documents. Does this have that facility to be able to engage as well with other similarly situated, perhaps, MSMEs?
Yeah, most definitely. I think part of the strategy for marketing is to make sure that we build that community of micro enterprises who are HR conscious. Meaning to say, they have started to really put some emphasis and premium on HRM practices. That's why, other than facilitating the HRM practices, a community of practice, a community of micro, small, medium enterprises.
You want to build a community of HR conscious MSMEs. And I don't think there are too many of them. So
exactly.
What I think you should want to consider, or perhaps have you already considered, is really building an advocacy component to what you're doing. Because if you left it only to those micro entrepreneurs who are HR conscious, you might have only enough micro entrepreneurs to the 2 pizzas can feed, no? So diba? So I guess the question is there going to also be an advocacy component, meaning that is there going to be a deliberate effort to make micro entrepreneurs HR conscious, hence use you, diba? Use your app. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. In order to build a good community, in order to bring value to that community, knowledge-based learning engagements and sessions, and trying to create that communication line with the community would really help. So yes, we agree. Nowadays, it's very important to come up with advocacies, not only for the purpose of a token advocacy, but to make sure that we're able to really drive home the point on the importance of HRM with various micro, small, medium enterprises.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Sir JJ. Let's hear from Sir Alan. Sir Alan? Sir Alan, you're on mute.
Thank you for your presentation, JB. I'm grappling with the definition of the target market. You mentioned about micro entrepreneurs. Here's my perspective. Micro entrepreneurs for me are, a good deal of them are the people selling in the wet markets. They employ informally anywhere from 4 to 20, and they earn probably between $20 to $200 million annual sales each. That's the majority. They're in the wet markets of the Philippines. They certainly have a need. Do you think the kind of curated products, what would that be if you were to cater, or are you excluding them? You're referring to the more digital savvy micro entrepreneurs. So I'm grappling which market, because within the micro entrepreneur, it's a very fragmented business owner type. Seldom is it a corporation. That's my question. So how do you segment this market, and what kind of curated product services are you actually putting in front of these people? And if so, because there is obviously an advocacy component to this, how does this all come together?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So primarily, when we look at the market, it is true. While some of the market might be found in the wet market, but when we deal, because I've been a consultant for the Department of Trade and Industry, and the Micro Small Medium Enterprises Act actually defines micro for someone that has a capitalization of 3 million and below. So primarily, we're also looking at not only with those in the wet market, but we see a lot of people selling here and there, the resellers, even the traders, and some of them, and the little food stalls that are opened by the micro entrepreneurs, and they do have people that they manage on a day-to-day basis. So primarily, we're looking at them. We're trying to simplify and look at their basic need for HRM. Whether it's a simple tool, or let's say a template for hiring, a template for performance management or coaching that is simplified. So we're looking at these from the standpoint of, it's not something that they really do. This is something that they usually insert in their schedule. They're busy with production, especially now with the pandemic. They're catching, or they're chasing after sales and orders and trying to see where the other markets are. So we have this understanding and appreciation of that kind of context now. So yes, we are targeting the micro enterprises primarily, and they do hire some of their people, albeit in an informal level. So we'd like to also elevate the degree of engagement that they have with their own people, because we do realize that there are many micro enterprises that have a very informal engagement with some of their own workers or set of workers, and some of them even hire their own relatives or family members. So with this appreciation in mind, we hope to come up with toolkits on how do you actually deal having this difficult conversation with your family members who happen to be your workers on a day-to-day basis. So if this equips them, we'll be very happy if we're able to improve the way they engage their employees and their family members at the same time.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sir Alan. Hi, Jude, go ahead with your question.
Hello. Thank you for that presentation. It was very great. I have a question about the scalability aspect of things. So in any learning system, the most important part is the feedback, right? And I believe you'll be giving feedback to your customers. My question is, how do you handle that when it gets too big? How do you cater to all their feedbacks? I mean, how do you give feedback to them and answer all their inquiries?
Good point. Thank you. We have to be honest. We haven't really thought much about handling customer service, because we're still focused on the first 2 years where we feel we have few. But later on, if our revenue streams will be good, definitely a contact point or an account executive that could handle big accounts could probably be institutionalized. Definitely in terms of the service, customer service, customer experience, that is in perhaps on the 3rd year, but for now we try to manage it ourselves. We will definitely have our own people who will be handling these customer service concerns, whether it's various information that they need. But we also intend to, that's why we included in the pitch deck before, that we wanted to have some HR consultation mechanism also within the app eventually, if not on the 1st year, on the 2nd year, because we'll be focusing more on the basic ones for the 1st year. Later on, there will be HR consultation, and this is where actually the HR practitioners can come in. So it will also be some sort of a marketplace later on that could help and link them with other HR practitioners if they have, and if they intend. So the more that our micro enterprises grow, the more we hope to grow the app as well in terms of services and scale it up, so that we are able to also adjust with their growing needs and requirements as well.
All right, thank you for that. I have another question. So not sure if you've heard of Coursera. Have you tried that online course platform, Coursera? No. Okay. So it's one of the more popular online course materials out there. It's
yes, Coursera. Sorry, I heard it wrong. Coursera, yes.
Coursera,
Udemy, Coursera.
Yes, correct. So I believe all of those platforms, they have some AI system built in, and they try to cater to different people, because different people have different needs. And as what Sir Alan mentioned, the market here is fragmented, right? Some people may be tech savvy, some maybe not. So you will have to cater to their different needs. So how do you plan to do that? What will be your attack?
So in terms of product output or in terms of services, we understand. That's why we are conscious that there are also knowledge products out there, that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. What we want to provide value, which is very targeted to our market, would be language adjusted. Trying to find out, because if you look at many of the courses in Udemy or your Coursera, a lot of them are also very Western in terms of perspective. We wanted to provide a more localized feel, especially since we're starting with the Philippines. We want to provide that localized feel, both in language and in context, really attuned to the reality that they're currently in, so that they really get to apply the products and services that we provide within the app.
All right, thank you.
All right, so looks like those are our questions. Lawrence, we have, I'm actually receiving messages from different parts of the Philippines. So I would just want to say hello to everyone here from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Thank you so much for joining us. And Lawrence?
Yes, I think we have one more question from Mr.
Okay.
Hideaki Kato.
Oh, yes. Listen, go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm also exciting to listen your presentation, and then congratulations. And then all judge already mentioned your team focusing on the micro business, and I think so it's a quite largest market, and then so target itself is quite good, but all the judge already mentioned it's very challenging market, and then from this market, you mentioned 0.5%, 20,000 accounts enrollment you try to capture. And then in terms of the marketing 4P strategies, you already cover place, product, and pricing. And then still for me, the promotion, last P, promotion is still unclear. And then you mentioned you want to develop efficient and effective community. Do you have any other promotion or marketing strategy to capture this 20,000? And also, I want to know, community development is one of the quite effective approach to capture this net target 20,000, but still I'm unclear for the how to develop this community. If you have those ideas, could you share to me?
Sure. Yes, definitely. In order to build the community, we hope to really provide every now and then a series of HRM webinars that could just give them a glimpse of the kinds of services that we provide. But more than that, it's also the advocacy part, trying to really make sure that they understand how people management is very important to them as micro entrepreneurs, that this shouldn't take a backseat or should just be an afterthought. This is something that's very intrinsic to their organization. And with these kinds of webinars, the more and more micro enterprises that we offer this to, whether through boosting through Facebook and others, whether to the network that I currently have for One Town, One Product, micro, small, medium enterprises, or the franchisers that I'm currently in, because I'm the vice president for franchisers to the micro enterprises as well. So it's really more of the networking, boosting on Facebook, targeting, so that we're able to reach them. And of course, language plays a very important role, so that they get to really understand it's not something that's intimidating to the micro enterprises. These advocacies, the webinars that we put in can help, will be the penetration point, so that we're able to introduce to them, for starters, the kind of service that we can provide to them. And then later on, if we progress, boosting at the same time referral system, so that they're able to bring in more friends within the community, so that if they share more of their experience with the service, they can join their friends who are also micro entrepreneurs, so that we can also reach that tipping point in market penetration.
Okay, first stroke, maybe you will utilize some SNS approach to the market, correct? Like
yes,
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook, definitely social media will play a role. I think it's the most cost efficient way. We're able to target and reach the market the shortest time possible, and investment wise, it's most efficient as well.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you, judges and innovators. The pitch And the Q&A, as we've all witnessed, were both awesome. A lot of learnings, even for those who are just watching or listening at the comfort of their homes. And at this point, we will have to request our judges to do the deliberation of scores. The judges will be moved to a breakout room, and this will be facilitated by Ms. Penn and Chairperson Mark. However, the innovators and the audience will remain in this main room.
Yeah, so as we stay here in this main room, our audience will have the chance to interact with our innovators. You can ask questions, you can ask more about their experience or about what they presented to us. But before that, let us take a short break and watch videos shared by our sponsors.
Fuji Xerox is now Fujifilm Business Innovation. Our multifunction printer is the gateway to success, enhancing your speed and accessibility. With Fujifilm's power and expertise that have overcome every challenge, we will strengthen our resilience and reliability and bring innovation to your business. Accelerate your business success. Fujifilm Business Innovation. We all dream of having a better world, a safer planet for future generations. For the Energy Development Corporation, we step up our pursuit of this mission. We go beyond sustainability and call for regeneration, a way to operate our business, but seen through a wider lens and more than just profitability. Regeneration calls for us to elevate everything we touch. Our environment, customers, partners and suppliers, employees, and communities, and seek collaborative partnerships across all that we influence, all in pursuing a decarbonized and regenerative future. Our regenerative practices work as a holistic system. We are the third largest producer of geothermal energy in the world and the largest all-renewable energy company in the Philippines. Our operations are carbon negative. We absorb more carbon than what we emit during everyday operations. We go beyond compliance. Decarbonized practices are in place. A zero-discharge system where the water byproduct of geothermal power generation is pumped back into the earth to help replenish underwater wells. Other regenerative practices help further our efforts.
we collaborate with communities around our power plants. They are now allies. They help protect the forest, rescue Philippine native trees, and help reforest large areas. They are part of livelihood programs and scholarship programs for the youth. This collaboration extends to our employees. As we uphold their welfare and wellness at all times. And to our partners and suppliers, who all share our regenerative vision. With these collaborations, we are able to provide reliable, renewable, clean energy to our customers. To power our economy, power industry and progress, and power future generations. This is the power of regeneration for a decarbonized and regenerative future. We are the Energy Development Corporation. We are powering infinite possibilities.
All right, Lawrence. So our judges are now deliberating. Kinakabahan ako.
But this is going to be good. So we solicited some questions from the audience. We actually received like a few comments. Some of them posted like publicly in the chat. Some of them sent to us via the private message. So perhaps I can start, Trusted Joan, with reading some of the comments. No, this is specific to Team 2. This one is a comment from Toti. What Mr. Toti said is that try to make the negative comments into positive action, providing insights, plans, data. This will make the program different from Lazada, Shopee, etc. Love this apps. Kudos to you guys. Thank you so much for sending in that particular remark, Mr. Toti. And of course, we would like to still encourage everyone, our audience, to send in their messages, and perhaps in the form of question or in the form of suggestion for our participants.
Yes, so quite a lot of feedback as well. Actually, the feedback is that the ideas are really amazing and the interaction is really very encouraging as well. So let us know if you have any questions to our innovators, if you'd like to know more about the experience. But I have a question. I have a question to the team of our innovators. For the other groups who has more than one team member, you can probably just choose one who would speak for you. I'm just curious if you would describe the experience in one word, the process of coming up with these project and presentations and the products. How is it? What one word would you use to describe your experience? Can we hear from our innovators? Who would like to go first? First, maybe we can hear from Louis. Louis still here? I hope he is. Yes. So Louis said exciting. Thanks a lot, Louis, for your response. How about the team 2? How would you describe your experience in one word? Rewarding. Fun. Yes. Oo nga, no. I'm sure it was not easy. I'm sure there were a lot of sleepless nights, but we also recognize the fun part of it. So thank you so much. How about the team 3? How was the experience for you? Just one word.
Transformative.
Wow, I like that, JB. Transformative. Can you share us more? How was it transformative for you?
Well, because Leon and I have been working. We've known each other since 2014, and yeah, what we presented was something we are both passionate about, although we are from different backgrounds. So in a way, seeing how he sees things from that marketing operations management side, and I assume him seeing how HR and OD sees it, in a way, it's a nice mix of worlds to really ideate and come to for an idea for come to fruition. So yeah.
Yeah, oo nga, no. I think the different background also help, no? I mean, you brought your different experiences, and then when you came together, and I think that's where innovation really kicks in as well. When you have different experiences, no, so that is really fantastic. But I also want to recognize as well, no, JB, in spite of having different experiences, being open. Of course, I would assume there's openness to learn, to hear, and that is also a very good environment for innovation. So thank you so much for that. Lawrence, do we have any questions from our audience?
We do, Trusted John. So I think that was a good warm up, no, for our participants, for our final pitchers, to answer some of the more, I'd say, challenging questions coming from the audience. And this one specifically for Team 2. And the question would come from Mr. Froilan from Fuji. Yes. I think they are in huddle right now.
Hello, sir.
All right.
This is Richard. Actually, companies could have an option like that because since the start of the pandemic, that setup is being used na rin naman. So companies who will buy our app, they could have an option to do that. So actually, we're training our employees to become business owners through this app because like they are selling their services, Lazada type or Shopee style. So by doing so, they are like entrepreneurs in their own. They're just selling their services. So if companies would do that, maybe outsource through the app, that's possible, sir. And
Thank you so much for answering, Mr. Richard. So hopefully that was able to answer the question of Mr. Froilan coming from Fujifilm. And another good thing from our hackathon today is that we're getting feedback that the teams can immediately integrate, in the spirit of agility into their like business plans and business models. And one such feedback that I received through the private message. And this is also another feedback for Buzzy, for Team 2. The feedback goes like this. Buzzy, the busy app for business people. Based on the app name and definition, to me, it didn't quite appear to encapsulate the main function of the app, which is ticketing. So for this particular like feedback or suggestion, perhaps the one who provided this suggestion would like to find like better. I'm not sure if it's going to be a better name or going to be a better description for the nature of the application, which is ticketing system. So perhaps this is something that Team 2, Team Buzzy can also integrate and think about when they go back to the drawing board and try to, of course, do the next iteration of their project.
Wow, that's nice. No, we get these suggestions, we get these insights from our audience, and that's the beauty of us doing it this way. We get to hear better ideas. I would say that's good. Lawrence, we have actually one more question here from Mr. Philip. To all the teams, maybe we can start. The team 3 can start, and then we can hear from team 1 and then team 2. Did you also consider how to link all the paper-based documents to the platforms that you have developed? Existing HR records are normally paper-based, so conversion of those to digital is part of the solution as well. Can we hear from team 3 and then team 2, team 1 and then team 2?
All right. So thank you, Philip, for that question. Actually, that is a very good point to raise. We actually thought about how to put it up in a digital space. So in our business model, one part of it is really investing in a secure digital clouds storage space to ensure that these are secure for the documents are secure for all our users. So yeah, Leon, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, basically it's part of the services that we've thought of, not immediately, but in the succeeding years perhaps. But what we really wanted to start is really just these templates, these documents that they do not currently have, which would be a very great and a valuable tool or for them to have. So yes, but definitely it's part of our plan to include cloud services and digitization of the various HR documents that we will need, so it's easily at their fingertips.
Thank you, Team 3. So our judges are back here now, but for the benefit of our judges, we're just having last question, and we will hear from Team 2 and then Team 1 and then Team 2. Louis from Team 1, how your thoughts on the question?
Regarding the paperless, the conversion of the paper-based documents, actually we already done that in our HRMS platform. You can scan the documents on your existing HRMS or paper-based record, then we save it in our cloud storage, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, Louis. And then we hear from Team 2.
Hi, good morning again.
Go ahead, Ashley.
Yes. So to answer that question, actually one of our driving factors when we were brainstorming about this project is the paper-based documents. Kasi we have also seen, because of the demand of the digitalization, our company was also compelled to transform our paper-based documents to paperless transactions so that we can ensure the business continuity. So definitely that will be addressed in this Buzzy app. And aside from that, we have also wondering or parang part of the plan is to establish ensuring the data privacy of those documents that will be in the application. So we're trying to envision something like they would allow for every transaction to process their data, just to ensure that they allow the HR people to process the data and to whoever the processors it will get into. So that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, nakakabitin, Lawrence. We have a lot of questions. And I think our teams also has a lot of insights to share, but I guess hopefully we'll hear from them again soon in another event. Lawrence, over to you.
I agree, Trusted Joan. And of course, we would like to thank our audience for being highly participative in the Q&A portion. And of course, we are almost getting close to the highlight of our program. But before we get to that, let us recognize once again our sponsors for making this hackathon a successful one. First is Fujifilm. Thanks also to Unilab Foundation and to Energy Development Corporation.
Thank you, Lawrence, and thank you so much to our sponsors. May we also call on each of our judges to give their message, and then after our judges, we will also hear from our sponsors' representatives. So I will call on our order of judges who will share their message. We will first hear from Mr. Hideaki Kato, followed by Mr. Jonathan Juan Moreno, and then Mr. Alan Timonera, Mr. Jude Michael Chavez, and of course, past president, Mr. Bong Ostero. Kato-san, we'll hear from you first.
Yeah, thank you very much. So may I share my slide?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Today, PMAP request to the all judge to explain about each judge's idea, what makes a successful innovation. And then, first of all, I'd like to say our company is used to call Fuji Xerox Philippines before, but now so we changed to the Fujifilm Business Innovation Philippines Corp since this April. Then so our company name includes innovation, and just before this session, they all of members discussing about digital transformation. And then Fuji Xerox is very well known about the copy machine, but nowadays, of course, utilizing the paper. So this business process is now so switching to the paperless. And then so that's why our company really seeking for the development of the solution. without the paper. They sometimes so seamless conversion from the real paper to digital paper. Then and then our company, Fuji Xerox Philippines, was established 1965. And then since then, so we have more than 50 years for Kaizen process. Starting from the status quo, then go to the analysis, deep analysis, and the film selection, and the innovation design, and then finally planning. And then so later on, so I'd like to explain the detail, but status quo 3C analysis, and the analysis maybe so we are using QC tools for investigating and extracting the root causes. And quite important is a factor base. Why 5 times those drill down we are doing, and the desired goal. So those design, of course, think out of box. Those kind of the idea must be required. And then for the planning, 4P strategies and initiatives, and then so define critical planning assumption. Then what is innovation? Then we are here in our current status, and then after theme selection, desired goal here. Then there is a gap, and then, so this gap fill is a innovation. The innovation we can call in another way strategies. Then so there is a several paths along with a feasibility or a scenario. Then but we can say it will be simple improvement if target gap is small, and it's not a innovation improvement or tactical initiatives. And so that's why we should try to challenge the big gap fill. That will be the innovation. Then next is a key success factor for successful innovation. As I mentioned, firstly, status quo or current situation. What is our strengths? Those and what is the efficiency of the organization, and at the same time weakness. That is a very basic 3C analysis in order to develop the strategies. And then so, as I mentioned, 3C analysis plus SWOT analysis, but that is quite popular, and no need to explain the detail. What is our strengths, weakness, and then opportunity and threat based on the 3C analysis. And then so, last part, when I working in China, at that time, so I read this book, Sun's Art of War. And then so, this is more than long time ago's the strategy. But this is not a purely the war or army strategy. It's also applicable for the current business market. And then so, Chinese pronunciation is Jibi, Jiji, Baijian, Pudai. This means know your enemy, know yourself. In 100 battles, you will never be defeated. So innovation is not one time. As I mentioned, innovation is a never-ending journey. And then think out the box. Then so let's enjoy this attractive journey. That is all for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kato-san. And if you would be good if we would be able to see, to have a copy of your presentation as well. Very good insights there from Kato-san. Thank you so much. And then we hear from our next judge, Mr. JJ Moreno.
And thank you very much. And good morning once again to everyone. And just a quick message. First is that we are now living in a different world, as we all know, are experiencing. The pace of change, the urgency, and the impact of general situations and conditions on organizations have drastically increased. We now hear about VUCA, VUCA environment. The world has indeed entered an era of boundless opportunities, however, also novel or new risks. And so the demands from organizations are now more complex. hence the need to be more innovative, agile, and resilient in order to not only survive but also thrive. Innovation, effectively, is the implementation of ideas that result in the introduction of new goods or services, or the improvement in the offering of such goods and services. We've seen a couple of examples of that today. It also means a creation, development, and implementation of new products, processes, or service with the aim of improving efficiency, effectiveness, and competitive advantage. As a former management consultant, I could not help but refer to a 2x2 matrix. If you see the two axes of a 2x2 matrix, and just imagine 4 quadrants. On the left side, or the vertical quadrant, the vertical side would be technology, old and new, and the horizontal would be markets, old and new. So if you notice, if you could imagine the 2x2 matrix with old technology, old market, new market, within that would be opportunities for innovation. For example, if you look at an existing technology in an existing market, the innovation we will be considering there would be only incremental innovation, because basically existing technology and existing market. If you look at an existing market and bring to it new technology, the innovation there would be more disruptive. So existing market using new technology, you disrupt. And the third quadrant, if you may, is when you use existing technology in a new market, which is called basically architectural type of disruption, of innovation. And finally, and what I would hope to see more of, is using new technology in new markets. That's where we see radical innovation happening. So if you may, the 4 types of innovation: incremental, disruptive, architectural, and radical innovations, all different levels, but by and large really still trying to accomplish new things, new products, new processes, new services. It helps also address social problems and the society's capacity to act against those social problems. It can also help promote a higher quality of life. And it also helps meet social needs in a better way than the existing solutions. Innovation, again, even if we are in business, we also have to look at how our innovations can also impact on society, because innovation really does. I therefore congratulate PMAP for launching this initiative. And of course, thank you for having me, for inviting me to be part of it. I hope this will be a start of a series of similar events that your excellent organization will institutionalize. A true test of success of this event is not only in increasing the number and quality of participants, but I believe it is also when companies will start to conduct their own innovation hackathons. So let PMAP start the trend of hackathons, because I believe hackathons are very value-creating activities. I believe that it is time for us and organizations, through the leadership of PMAP, to mainstream the practice of putting together teams, both from a technical standpoint and business experts, and getting them to collaborate intensively to create innovative projects and solutions. With this, we can look forward to seeing more design, development, and execution of most innovative solutions to not only human capital problems, but also in other functional areas in corporate organizations. Again, thank you very much for having me. It was a great blast. Congratulations also to those who participated, and congratulations in advance to the team that will emerge as victorious today. Thank you and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sir JJ. Now we will hear from Sir Alan.
Morning, and I'd like to congratulate everyone, the PMAP organization, and of course the participant in the hackathon that we just witnessed this morning. I just have a few words. I recall the the famous or infamous crazy criteria that Larry Page used when evaluating his investments. He called it the toothbrush model. If it's something that can be used every day, if it will make things better, my life better, and it can be scaled up. Of course, due diligence will be part of it. Now couldn't be the best of all time for innovation. With the backdrop against the problems, the new problems rather, that has upset the status quo, a lot of companies are looking for solutions. They are looking both from established and new ones. And this could not be a better time to position a startup or even an existing company innovating a new offering of service or product. A lot of things have happened in the past. Apple didn't start with the first products, but they were good at innovating it. Being first does not guarantee success. And as everybody said, it's the most innovative product. And I always harken back to that crazy rule of Larry Page, the toothbrush model. And I hope we can all go in the direction that we can make those products, that type of products, that will make everyone always wonder, why didn't I thought about it earlier? That's all I have to say. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sir Alan. And of course, we will now hear from Mr. Tevez.
Hello, good morning. First of all, I would like to thank the PMAP team and the participants for this event. So it was really great to hear all the ideas, especially now, that we're getting accustomed to things that we usually do. It's nice to see these ideas that are not that commonly accepted, I would say. So going back to the question at hand, what makes a successful innovation? Well, there are multiple facets to innovation, but I believe these three things are the most important ones to stay successful innovation. Well, first of all, you really have to understand the problem at hand. You really have to understand the pain point. You have to go on the ground and experience what your customers feel. You have to be the customer itself for you to create a wonderful product. And second, you have to be agile. You have to fail fast, especially in this VUCA world. Right? So many things are changing so fast with the rapid advancement of technology. So you have to validate your ideas and then see if it is acceptable in the market. If not, then iterate again. Just fail fast and iterate fast. And lastly, I think we all should learn a new skill to make a successful innovation. We have to study another field. By doing this, we could integrate new ideas from that other field and incorporate it to our problem. So I'm not sure if this is really the best example for this, but for example, the internet was conceived during the World War. It was originally intended for communications during warfare, but now we could do lots of things with the internet. We could use it for entertainment, we could use it for research and so many things. So yeah, those three things are, I think, what makes a successful innovation. So once again, I would like to congratulate everyone, the participants and the team, and thank you for having this event.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jude. Now we will hear from our past president, Mr. Bong Ostero. Sir Bong.
Thank you, Joanne. A historian once wrote that because of our colonial history, we Filipinos are born genetically imprinted with the need to prop up the status quo. We are supposedly born with a genetic imprint that says, do not rock the boat, toe the line, do not take risks, and accept things without question. A child who offers another way of looking at things is called philosopher. A student who dares to question the way things are runs the risk of being called impertinente by the teacher. Early on in my career, I was told to stop being frivolous when I suggested new ways of engaging employees. The HR field used to be renowned for being anti-innovation. Up until recently, most HR people swore by the sacred rule in HR that said, "Thou shalt not set a precedent." We firstly protected the red circles, competency bands, our policies, And for the longest time, being original was an aberration for HR people. Even in PMAP, any program or practice must first be vetted out as a best practice before it can be deemed implementable. Nobody went into HR because he or she wanted to find expression for his or her overflowing creativity. In fact, most creative people did not go into HR precisely because HR was never perceived as a profession that harnesses creativity and innovation. But please take note that I am speaking in the past tense. As someone who has championed innovation in the companies I have been connected with and in PMAP, I'm probably the only HR person with long hair. I am very happy that the tide has turned. We are now seeing an innovation movement in HR. The pandemic has been one of the worst things that has happened, but it has also placed HR at a very strategic role. The pandemic allowed HR not just a seat at the table, but placed HR firmly at the head of the table. The challenges for HR is to do, the main challenge for HR is to do things differently, to be more creative, to be more innovative. As we move to the next normal, or what we now call the better normal, HR needs to work even harder to be more inclusive. Because truly, we cannot address the emerging challenges with business as usual. There is no going back to the old ways. It is my fervent hope that this hackathon unleashes an avalanche of similar initiatives in PMAP and in the profession. We need to bring everyone on board the digitalization journey. As we have witnessed today, there is always a better, smarter way. We just need to find it together. This is certainly one of the best ways to spend a Saturday. On behalf of the elders in PMAP, my fellow past presidents, I congratulate all of the participants of this first ever PMAP Hackathon. Thank you for your great ideas, and most of all, thank you for showing and leading the way. Thank you, PMAP Trusted Beth Nasol, and all the other trusts who are present today, the PMAP Research Committee and Research Team, and the PMAP Secretariat. Congratulations, everyone. Having said that, I am pleased to present the winner of the first PMAP Hackathon. The winner, the solution that won the nod of the judges, was the one that had a clear value proposition to its target market. The one that opens new doors towards more inclusion in the HR profession by pushing HR practices more proactively and strategically. And in my opinion, the solution that also addresses larger social issues and therefore blazes new paths for HR in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present the winner of the first PMAP Hackathon, Micro HRM.
Yay! Congratulations! Congratulations, Micro HRM. You really did very well. Fantastic. So that's really a very great news for this morning. Any message from Micro HRM?
Hi. So, ayan, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And congrats then to all the finalists. But yun, thank you rin to the judges for providing wonderful insights and questions. And to the whole PMAP team then for your support and your patience then through all of our questions. So it's a huge honor to receive this award. And I'd like to go back to what Sir Bong has said na parang, and this is the time to really progress and transform HR. And this is why we're here. So thank you for the trust and for awarding this great award to us. Thank you.
All right. Do we hear from the other team member of?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you to the judges. Thank you for all the insights and definitely a lot of really great points that we can take on to also improve and in the next iteration that we're gonna do. Thank you to the audience, to the PMAP, of course. Thank you so much. You have an ally with us in terms of pushing forward our inclusion for HR practices, especially with micro entrepreneurs, something very close to our hearts. So that's it. Thank you and congratulations to our fellow finalists as well. Very great way to spend our Saturday learning from many people. Thank you.
Congratulations again to the team who won this first hackathon. Of course, everybody, we have all learned, we are all winning in this experience. So congratulations to all the teams. Really great job. And of course, we also want to recognize our sponsors because without them, we will all not be here. We will not have the benefit of going through this very innovative learning process. Let's just hear a few messages from our sponsors. We will hear from Fujifilm, who is represented here by their marketing center manager, Ms. Maria Eliza Crisanto. I can hear myself. There. Go ahead. You're on mute now. You're still on mute. Can't hear you. Eliza, we can't hear you. Can't hear you.
All right.
Good.
Is that okay?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone. My name is Liza Crisanto, and I am the Marketing Center Head at Fujifilm Business Innovation Philippines Corporation. Many of you would probably know our former name, which was Fuji Xerox Philippines. We changed it only just last April to Fujifilm Business Innovation Philippines Corporation. First, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the officers of the People Management Association of. Second, I would like to say thank you to PMAP for allowing us to be a sponsor and for inviting our beloved President, Kato-san, to be a judge of such a worthwhile endeavor. Maraming salamat, PMAP, sa opportunity na ito. And it was indeed a pleasure to sponsor this year's hackathon event. Listening to the final pitches of the top 3 shortlisted innovators was an overwhelming experience. I must admit, I was truly impressed with the brilliant ideas presented by all of them, and I could only imagine the difficulty that the PMAP organizers went through in this selection process. So the continuing surge actually of COVID cases happening, not only in our country, but across the entire globe, is a clear indicator that we are all together in this for the long haul. Radical changes in the way we work is going to be inevitable. Therefore, it is now more than ever very important for organizations to innovate in order to adopt the products and services that inspire and excite people and their businesses. We take an open and flexible attitude to innovation, combining our own original technology with human resources, expertise, and technology from around the world. Through this powerful synergy, we rapidly and nimbly develop solutions that address the true needs of our customers. So lastly, to the 3 presenters, well, congratulations. I thank you all for sharing your ideas, your time, and your dedication to finding ways in helping this country being a great country and for allowing business owners find ways of overcoming the challenges they face with respect to the management of their human resources. In my book, you're all winners. So congratulations and thank you. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Eliza, and thank you for your support to our innovators for supporting this program. Of course, we would like to hear again from our sponsor, the Assistant Manager for the STEM Plus Philippines program, Ms. Isabel Monasterio from Unilab Foundation.
Thank you. To the People Management Association of the Philippines, industry leads, and the distinguished panel of judges, panelists, and fellow innovators, I bring you greetings from Unilab Foundation on behalf of our Executive Director, Ms. Elibeth Aristerenas. Allow me to extend our warmest congratulations and gratitude, especially to PMAP, for organizing this creative, relevant, and innovation-focused endeavor that provided not only organizations like ours, but more so businesses, industry leaders, and entrepreneurs the opportunity to learn more about solutions that drive change. In a fast-paced digital world, the role and relevance of data
Kuya,
and
sandali lang,
research
sandali lang.
cannot be emphasized more. It is high time for various fields to acquire a paradigm shift in its ways of working and communicating. Amidst the challenges and changes born of the pandemic, we need to always be ready to learn and adapt as we navigate the landscape of hybrid workforce. Having mentioned that, I would also like to extend my congratulations to our 3 finalists this morning, and of course to Micro HRM for designing the future. I have come to realize that a quality characteristic of innovators is their eye to see gaps and missing links as opportunities to introduce and develop a novel idea. You've presented how it's one thing to recognize existing challenges, but it's another to broaden our vision and ask this, so what? In Unilab Foundation, we remain true to our mission to create enabling environments that encourage and nurture innovation to thrive. In our efforts to promote STEM skills such as critical and design thinking, problem solving, and collaboration, we recognize the value of bringing together and strengthening the government, industry, and education linkages. And it is with organizations like PMAP where we can better leverage our resources to accelerate development for the future landscape of work. It is indeed an honor to partner with the People Management Association of the Philippines in this worthwhile event, and we look forward to making transformational impact and building a future-ready workforce together. Thank you and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much to our sponsors and judges. Of course, we would like to share our token of appreciation to our judges for sharing their time and expertise. The road to the final pitch was not an easy one, and our judges we all know you're very busy, but you took time in assessing the submissions of our innovators from the pre-selection stage up to today, the final pitch. To our judges, please allow us to share our token of appreciation for your support. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, and thank you once again to our sponsors, Fujifilm, Unilab Foundation, and of course, Energy Development Corporation. What a memorable experience for all of us this year. And indeed, as mentioned by all of our judges, of our sponsors, and our participants, this is really
how creativity and innovation can benefit the company. Creativity improves the process of solving problems. It doesn't matter if you're talking about developing a new strategy or innovative way to stay ahead of competition. But what is important is really the process that we have gone through. Today's experience allowed us to think differently of our challenges in the workplace and creating venue for exchange, for ideas and perspective. I believe that this is a great way of learning and progressive, and especially so that in the practice of the human resource, our workplace is constantly changing and new elements in the game is continuously being introduced. And this makes our work really very interesting. When the research team discussed the hackathon early part of 2021, foremost in our mind is to offer PMAP and its members a venue to help colleagues future-proof the future of work. This means creating an environment to challenge the status quo and develop capability to become flexible, to become agile, and to pivot as required in every time an element is introduced in the game. So thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Pen, and Mark Cancio of Canva, who suggested that we need to create an event to think differently, similar to a startup convention. And we want to engage our HR practitioners to find ways of how we can future-proof the future of work. And with the support of the PMAP professional staff led by Sarah, Niguas, and the rest of the team, we were able to execute this project. So thank you so much. We're also very fortunate to have great collaborators. Thank you for helping us and make this event possible and for believing in the concept of continuous improvement and innovation. We need to have more companies who will continuously advocate and so sponsor venues for creativity and innovation. Thank you also to our judges who gave us a different perspective. And I really like the Q&A part. No? And they have generously provided their time and expertise in screening and deciding the best of the best for today's event. We're deeply honored by your presence and participation in this particular first hackathon. We're also grateful to all our innovators, those who participated, our HR practitioners who were brave enough to put forward your ideas and pitch and answer all the questions of the judges. So thank you so much. Of course, much is still to be done. There's still a lot of things that we need to learn. The judges has given us feedback, and we're so grateful for the feedback that was given to us. I think these are areas for development in the future. This is just a start of a more innovative conversation and exchanges that will happen in PMAP. And this organization is committed to build the HR capability to anticipate, challenge the status quo, and do things differently. As our past president, Bong, is advocating. Kasama mo kami dyan. So innovation increases our chances to react to changes and discover new opportunities. It will also help us foster competitive advantage as it allows us to build better products and services for our customers. You know, I have two takeaways in this day's event. Number one is that employee experience is the goal. It's the key. So we need to know what our employees want, and employees and also our stakeholders, the businesses, the owners of the company want, because that's the kind of thing that we need to provide to employees and to the organization. And the other thing also is digitalization will be our staple. HR service will have to be delivered through serve-self modality and making HR present anytime and anywhere. And with that we experience today, we hope that we will have more participants and innovators and more ideas flowing to do things faster, better for our future. There is always a better way of doing things, so we should never stop. And as my favorite author, Seth Godin, who's also a marketing guru and an OD guru as well, no organization ever created on innovation. It's people innovate, not companies. So with that, thank you for your presence and thank you for your presentation. Have a great weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trustee Beth, for inspiring us with this event. Your leadership in the committee will go a long way. And this initial hackathon, I am sure that many more hackathons will happen. And thank you so much to you and, of course, the committee for this very innovative idea.
Yes, and once more, we would like to thank our judges and our sponsors for making this event a success. A big congratulations once again to Micro HRM. If we could all give a virtual round of applause to our winner, and of course, to all the participants of our 2021 PMAP Hackathon. Thank you everyone for joining us. This has been your host, Lawrence Ko, and of course, Trustee John Asete. Stay safe and have a good weekend.
Congratulations. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Fuji Xerox is now Fujifilm Business Innovation. Our multifunction printer is the gateway to success, enhancing your speed and accessibility. With Fujifilm's power and expertise that have overcome every challenge, we will strengthen our resilience and reliability and bring innovation to your business. Accelerate your business success. Fujifilm Business Innovation.
We all dream of having a better world, a safer planet for future generations. For the Energy Development Corporation, we step up our pursuit of this mission. We go beyond sustainability and call for regeneration, a way to operate our business, but seen through a wider lens and more than just profitability. Regeneration calls for us to elevate everything we touch. Our environment, customers, partners and suppliers, employees, and communities, and seek collaborative partnerships across all that we influence, all in pursuing a decarbonized and regenerative future. Our regenerative practices work as a holistic system. We are the third largest producer of We collaborate with communities around our power plants. They are now allies. They help protect the forest, rescue Philippine native trees, and help reforest large areas. They are part of livelihood programs and scholarship programs for the youth. This collaboration extends to our employees. As we uphold their welfare and wellness at all times. And to our partners and suppliers, who all share our regenerative vision. With these collaborations, we are able to provide reliable, renewable, clean energy to our customers, to power our economy, power industry and progress, and power future generations. This is the power of regeneration for a decarbonized and regenerative future. We are the Energy Development Corporation. We are powering infinite possibilities.
Okay, so pwede tayo mag-picture. Video
Yes,
on.
let's take.
Congratulations, team. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Hold on.
Is Angelica or PB part of the, okay. Is PB part of the team? Hindi na. Ayan. Angelica, are you part of PMAP? Ayun, wala na. Okay. Also, Ross Darrell, is he part of the...
Ako nakalimutan lang i-ano.
Oh, and Delus?
Mag-read.
Nagla-lunch na.
Nagla-lunch na. Wala na si Delus. Delus na lang, Delus. O sige, pwede na siguro ito.
Delius Rosales.
Yes po, IT po natin si Del.
Miss Beng, Maki.
Ay, ito, pinaka-importante yan.
Miss Beng, open.
Open camera.
1 minute lang, wala pang 1 minute.
Oh, sino si PMAP Center? Si
Margo ata.
Margo?
Margo.
Nagtatago ka na naman.
And yung isa pang PMAP Live. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Mark, Pen, Pinky, Beng. Salamat. Sarah, Maki, maraming salamat. Congratulations. O, meron pa tayo, conference.
September 11, learning session natin, and then followed by a conference. Tapos may IR kapihan pa kami at Makatao Awards for Media Excellence.
Okay. O sige, smile na.
Okay, smile na tayo.
Ayan.
Okay. Ready, 1, 2. Again, one more. Ready, 1, 2. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Congratulations.
very much.
Have a long weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Happy weekend.
Thank you guys. Happy weekend. Pahinga.
Happy long
Thank you
weekend.
po.
Ay, oo nga, long weekend. Bye.
Bye.